Shalom, my precious brothers and sisters. Without Lord His revelation through my dreams and His gift of understanding on His scriptures, I am nothing. I am who I am now because He taught me, He revealed through His books, also through my dreams and His confirmation. And I am called for this end time ministry since 2016. And this gift I received when I confessed my sin and I turned around from my sin because I disobeyed the Lord for nearly 10 years. And I pursued worldly desire. I pursued my own plan. But in the end, I reached to the limit of my ability. And I fell exactly Saint Peter wrote in his first letter, the emptiness of my life. Lord, He rescued me. When I was in the emptiness of my life, I had a severe depression. And now I am rescuing many women from their depression. So I will share more about the testimony through this week, especially this message. I think very, very important. Because after sharing this message in Korean, I received a couple of wonderful blessings from the Lord, and I saw confirmation from the sky, so it must be important. So this book, his name is Papias, Bishop in 2nd century, and he wrote 5 books called Expositions of Oracle of the Lord. But most of his writing were lost. But I found this book called End Times by Ancient Church Fathers by Ken Johnson. So you can find his books actually through Amazon. But I read chapter 8, chapter 9, and this Bishop Papias, during his ministry, he saw 2 daughters of Apostle Philip, and also he heard many testimonies from disciples of apostles. So Jesus spoke to apostles, those apostles including Peter, John, James, Peter, John, and Philip's, those apostles, they taught their disciples. So those disciples were alive, and Papias, he heard from them. So in his book he said, this is not from studying, reading from book. This is exactly what he heard. He heard this message from disciples of apostles. And Jesus spoke to apostles. He will literally 1,000 years reign this earth in Jerusalem when He returns. So He will return between His ascension and 2,000 years. So when you see the history, Jesus was born in BC 5, and His ministry started AD 27 for 3.5 years. And He ascended to heaven AD 30. So that He said, I will return between my ascension and 2,000 years, mean He will return before 2030. At least that's the marks. If we understand that way. So he said, I understand that way. He said, I'm coming. I will return within 2,000 years. And Saint Peter wrote in his book, in Lord's sight, 1,000 years is one day. One day is 1,000 years. And when Jesus said, I will return within 2,000 years, mean 2 days in God's sight. There's a meaning within 2 days, like a bridegroom. He prepared the place he will take his bride. He prepared the place, and he returned. The bridegroom returned and take the bride to the honeymoon home within 2 years. That's what I know. So 2,000 years means 2 days, like a number 2. I can see there must be meaning. So in his book, he said Jesus will return within 2,000 years, and he spoke this way. I will read what I took a note. Evil shepherd will rise, prove to be unjust, greedy, lovers of pleasures, money. They are talkative, boastful, fleeing from every single persecutions by not speaking the truth, not speaking of my humiliation, rejecting all word of the truth, not repenting for their sins. So we see in Book of Revelation, Saint John he saw false teaching, false prophet, so false Messiah. So those false shepherd, this evil shepherd is written in Ezekiel as well. And so I will continue his book. They shall be the cause of unbelief among the nations. They didn't practice my commandment. They will reject both my elect and my Holy One, calling them the polluted. My elect one, Holy One, are upright one who are pure, modest, merciful, kind, always acknowledging. They will be called psychotic because of me. I'm so glad when I read this book, because people call me, you are mad, you are psycho, because I've been preaching Jesus is coming, and they said, that's your imagination. Your dream is your imagination because you are in your suffering. And I heard so many people criticize me. You are psycho, you are mad. And exactly, Jesus told us they will call you psychotic. So this is a confirmation. It shall pass, my Father will gather together out of that generation. When you see all those signs, that generation, my Father will gather together out of that generation the pure ones, those to whom I will appear, with whom I will make my habitation on earth. I will send them ability truly understand the knowledge, the truth, and holiness. They shall always speak the truth, and they shall teach others. so that we have to teach, we have to share. Not just only taking the truth only personally, we have to speak the truth. And then I will continue the writing. The whole world shall come to nothing. All our possessions shall be destroyed by many destroyers. The rulers, who are few in number, will control the gold and silver. They are the one rich in worldly things, the children of this world, who maintain their wealth by controlling the buying and selling. Exactly what Jesus taught about. It's about number 666, Revelation chapter 13. They will afflict many, and because of them, many will call upon God for deliverance. Blessed are they who are not alive at this time, but blessed they also who live, endure to the end. They shall come, the son of Satan, the adversary, who boasts, exalts himself, working many signs, miracles. I believe you talk about Antichrist. He may deceive those. He may deceive the whole earth, even his elect as well. Woe to those who are deceived. So up to here, this is chapter 8 and 9. So I shared this message on Tuesday. I recorded in Korean. Then what I saw in the sky, afternoon is about, I was fasting until 4 o'clock afternoon, just only having fruit, dry fruit. During this Lent for 40 days. I don't think I can make it 40 days because it's during the Easter. I have a gathering with my Bible group, so we'll have a lunch on Good Friday after Good Friday service. We'll gather together, so I don't think I can make it 40 days, but at least I'm making my effort just to, it's a little thing, think about his temptation and his endurance and his suffering in the wilderness before his ministry. But I believe his 40 days, his fasting wasn't in this time because we are following Catholic in Europe. But actually my understanding is his ministry started from 7th month in Israel. So 40 days of his fasting was in 7th month. And he started his ministry from 7th month, and he finished 3.5 years. He finished on Passover, so the first month. That's my understanding. So that day, after recording this message, I received blessing financially. So I've got good news that day. And secondly, I was thinking about Rapture, because when I read this book, when I shared it, I was uplifted, and I was thinking, God created us to be holy. I was thinking that moment, God created us to be holy. And that moment, it was 3:30 afternoon. Suddenly, east side of the sky become mystery, and dark cloud coming down and become mystery. And I felt like God will show me a rainbow as a confirmation. So I was watching the sky, east sky. And then I saw rainbow appeared. And then I saw the color the mystery color in the sky. And then the sun from the west, because it's sun from the west reflecting the bird, and the bird, I don't know what kind of bird, they looked white, but the reflection of the sun, they were shining like stars, and those white object, like they are bird, but looks like a white object. So many, 100 groups and groups. They are not flying away. They are flying up. They are flying and dancing around, and making makes me so happy. And I can tell that would be the day of rapture, the mystery of God. And I can feel it will be like that on the day of the Lord, when He rescues us from the earth just before His judgment on us. And I sensed I was watching the sky for nearly half an hour. It was amazing confirmation. And then I messaged to my Bible group's friends. I saw this as a confirmation, but my spelling went wrong. I wanted to put rapture, but I put the spelling went to Rapture. And it's just another confirmation for me, because I was thinking about God created us to be holy. God created us in His image, in His character. The character means God's holiness. The character, through our suffering, through persecution, our suffering produce endurance, patience. The endurance produce the character. Saint Paul said, but Peter said, endurance produce holiness. Holiness or character are same, because the meaning of the character in Hebrew is holiness. It's craving. Character means craving. God craving in His character. So God wants us to be holy. He created us in His holiness. But who took our heart? The Satan, those fallen angels, they taught us how to make splendor of the world. They taught us how to make gold and silver, jewelry, all sorts of beautiful things, how to do makeup. They taught us how to make weapons, and all sorts of things they taught us. They defile themselves, choosing having sexual relationship with a human. And those fallen angels and those Satan, they took human, they defiled us, so that we lost that holiness. Since Adam and Eve, since time of Enoch, so that God judged with water during Noah's time, but His final judgment, Saint Peter saw, it will be by fire. So that we don't know the day when Jesus will return. We don't know the day God's final judgment on us, but we know through Jesus spoke to His apostles. We don't have that writing in our Bible, but when we study ancient book written in Hebrew, Book of Enoch, Book of this Papias, we see His return within 2,000 years. And this way I had a tough time during Wednesday class. because we studied Sodom and Gomorrah chapter, Genesis chapter 19, and we had a big debate about homosexualism. So homosexuality is not based on our scriptures, but some church in their they allowed gay and lesbian marriage in the church. So that's why some Christian believe that means God confirmed that is true, because church confirmed that. But I said, I'm not following any church doctrine or denominations. I'm not following humans' concern. Jesus spoke to Peter when Peter said, Lord, please don't go to the cross. And Peter was worried about, sad to lose our Christ. And Jesus said, Peter, step back. Satan, you step back. Get behind of me, you Satan. And Jesus rebuked Peter. You are a stumbling block to me. You don't have in mind the concern of God, but merely human concern. So that people have that compassion and love for gay and lesbian. They accept their marriage blessing. They comforted them. They want to be friends of them because they have a compassion. I know their compassion is God's gift, but if we use our compassion for human concern, Satan can use that. And Jesus spoke, Matthew chapter 15, verse 9, they worship me in vain. Their teachings are merely human rules. And people, during the class, when people said gay and lesbian homosexuality is not sin, and we should bless their marriage, that kind of talk, that kind of their teaching is merely human rule, not based on scriptures. So that how can I build a church who have human concern before God's will? So that even if we are human, and Jesus challenged us so much, if you don't hate your mother and father, if you don't hate your son and daughter, even yourself, you can't be my disciple. That is challenging. And I took that message into my practice, into my life, so that I abandoned my family. And I came back here after my father's funeral to finish his calling in this country, because I prayed for England since age 21. And I prayed for an Oxford and Cambridge University student when I was year 3 in university, when I repented, when I studied the Bible. And I prayed that for Oxford students and Cambridge students when I was 21. And I met this wonderful lady. Her name is Lorraine, and she has autistic child. And we had a 7 weeks Bible study together this week. And she studied in Oxford University. When I prayed for Oxford University, that's the time she was in that university, because she and I, we are similar age. And God fulfilled. I pray that those students in Oxford, Cambridge University, those intelligent people, they have to come to the face. That's why what I pray that, because I heard that. That was because Korea, 1980, 70, 80, 90, the Christianity, the evangelism was blossom. Church spreading all over the country. So that now 4 in 1 are Christian, active Christian. But what about in this country? When I see the statistics, before it was 45% are active Christian, but now only 6% of the Christians are active, which means they speak the truth and teach and sharing testimony. So that when I heard the church is closing down in this country, I prayed at age 21, Lord, Isaiah chapter 6, Lord, send me there. I will set the fire on them. Because of my prayer, my life was in the suffering all the time until my obedience for the last 8 years. Because I disobeyed on the way to fulfill His calling. I obeyed and disobeyed, up and down. In the end, when I reached the emptiness of my life, when I was suffering with depression, finally, He revealed to me that He is coming in this generation. So that's why I'm here now, so that we put God's will first before human concern, before my family, before my job, before homosexual friends and those the worldly people concerned about them, but we concern God's will first. God bless you. See you again. Bye.